Good morning, everybody. This is Kyle Speed One coming to you from the racetrack. This is the result of a project that I did about 2 weeks ago. And I'm really happy with the outcome of said project. It's running real good. It looks real good, if I don't mind saying myself. And I lost the car on the track. Runs smooth. There's a little bit of rattle with the front axle. I'll have to tinker with the grub screws, and that'll probably alleviate the rattling noise. It's been kind of a rough night. I had a buddy of mine that I'd known and worked with at work breaking our backs and sometimes getting cut up and coming home with sore muscles and sore backs from working on engines and diagnosing them and trying to teach Generation WTF, who already proclaimed they already knew everything that ever was to know about everything. And look at us older guys as if we were in their way. But anyway, he died of cancer at 9:30 last night after battling it. And you know, the usual happened. They cut him open, the air got to the cancer, and it lit like a match and spread. And his sister informed me, as well as some other friends, that his condition was degrading really quick. He was 3 years younger than me. His birthday was December 7th. Mine's the 23rd. And we were pretty like-minded. He was a big old tall guy. He was about 6'4", and probably if he hadn't injured his knee, he would have had a professional basketball career. He was truly a gentle giant. But you definitely didn't ever want to make him mad. He could look at somebody and put the fear of God in them. he really didn't have although he wanted to on several occasions that I witnessed. He could pop a knot on somebody's head that they wouldn't be able to rub off for several weeks. But anyway, I digress. This is about slot cars. He's not suffering, and he's just waiting for the master's call while he sleeps. For the dead know nothing. And let's see. Okay, I stopped it right there. This is one of my favorite cars that I wish I could have in my own driveway. It's a 63 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray split window coupe. And I had a little bit of a struggle with this car, but I overcame it by basically being patient and sitting down and working through the problems. And it did provide some problems. That's a Piranha 21,500 motor in it. Slotted axles, slotted aluminum rims, slotted pinion and crown gear, inline style. And that, you might recognize that chassis, although there's some people on this earth that slotted is not a very good product, and I strongly disagree with him. Anyway, this is a AMT 1/32 scale plastic model snap together kit. Okay, bought it for $9 on eBay. I showed that upside down just to befuddle you. So there, suitable for slot car conversion. They actually used to do this back in the day. I'd been tinkering on plastic models ever since I was about 6 or 7 in one form or another. And here's the chassis kit that I installed on the car body. Hope that's easy for you to read. Now, this is in the kit. And what you have to do, I don't really like turning it over on its roof, but what you have to do is measure how high you want that body to sit on the chassis. Glue this on the inside of the body, double checking your measurements and where it's at. Now I use super glue, and you better be on the money because it's not going to give up the ghost on you. It's there. Excuse me. But yeah, you glue that little strip on the inside of the car body. And of course the chassis has here, and here stanchions that come out where, I guess I threw it back over there somewhere. Here it is. Where those pins go up inside those hollow stanchions and lock the body onto the chassis. Okay. Slotted chassis kit. You can adjust the front axle back and forth how you like it. Now I had to modify this one to fit this particular body, and cutting off the ends that were up here because they would have interfered with the body. And yeah, it turned out just fine. The bumpers came chromed. The wheels came chromed. And the tail lights came chromed. Now you might notice the windows and some of the emblems here, and the Corvette signature here, and the rocker panel here. Now that's all done. Let me see. that was all done with this product here, bare metal, and I did it with the matte aluminum, which, as you can see, comes out just as good, if not better, than chrome. Bare metal foil. Now, this car, like I said earlier, provided plenty of challenges to get to this point. One of them being just the paint job. I had tried to paint it in the Vallejo metallic green airbrush paint. It's already been diluted where you can just pour it in your cup on your airbrush and spray it. And every time that I painted the car, it just didn't go right. And so I ended up painting it twice, or attempting to paint it twice with the Vallejo metallic green. Now, I had two cars. One was a Ferrari and the other one was a Pagani that turned out just perfect with that metallic green. I don't know what happened. It must not have been the day for it. The universe was trying to tell me something else. I don't know. But after taking the body and prepping it, I put it, of course, I didn't have the bumpers or any of the other details on the body at that point because I hadn't put on a clear coat yet. And so I soaked it in alcohol and scrubbed the paint off, scuffed it up with Scotch-Brite and some wet, dry 1200 grit sandpaper. And grabbed a tack rag and rubbed the body down and then sprayed it with Tamiya light gray surface primer. And I sat there and looked at the car and I shook my head and I don't know, something came over me or I just had the thought, whatever you want to call it. I looked up at the ceiling of my house and I says, well, Lord, I give up on this metallic green. What color do you reckon you would like to see this car in? And the thought came to me the way it usually does, black. So I kind of laughed and giggled and said, okay, I'll give it a whirl. So I drug out my Vallejo airbrush black. Now, when you spray it on your car, there is no gloss to it. It's a matte color as it was with the green. And if you want it glossy, you're going to have to put a clear coat on top of that to bring out the glossiness. And so I sprayed it. Turned out pretty good. I was satisfied with it. And so I let the body dry for about 2 days under cover of a slot car clear lid. And let it dry out for 2 days. Then I came back with the Rust-Oleum ×2 gloss clear. And I missed it on 2 real light clear coats that would seal the Vallejo black. And so I let that dry for 3 days. Sometimes it's a long process, you know. You can't hurry it up and just start handling the car. You're gonna start messing things up with a clear coat and the base coat. But what really tickled me about this car was not only the change in paint, but it was that bare metal foil around the windows and the emblems and the rocker panel. Now I had tempted to use that bare metal foil on 3 other cars, and I didn't have so much as a leprechaun's luck with it. And you know, it was a little bit frustrating. This is the first car I've had success with bare metal foil. The very first car. Now, as you can see, the interior had to be cut up a little bit to accommodate that big old S-Can Piranha 21,500 RPM motor. And I painted it red to make a contrast with the black, which I think came out pretty good. And that was Rust-Oleum apple red with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum ×2 gloss clear. But as you can see with that bare metal foil, that turned out pretty good. Even has the Corvette script and the rear badge done on it. Of course, I had to paint the flags on the emblems. So if you know, the reason why I do things like this is if you come across a car that's not produced by the major or even small slot car manufacturers, something like this may be your only outlet. And if you do, you're gonna have to put some work through it, and you're gonna have to be patient with it. And but if you are, it's gonna pay dividends where you can actually enjoy the car now. I believe Revell Monogram makes a 1964 Grand Sport Corvette in racing form. They didn't build too many of those Grand Sports for racing, although they were quite competitive. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Carrera actually has a Corvette, but I think it's a 64 or 65. I'm not just real sure. I'd have to look it up. This, on the other hand, is the well-liked by me body style of a 1963 split window coupe. I'm not saying I'm not saying coupe, because I didn't order a Frappuccino. Just being a little silly. Now my friend of 39 years that just passed away from cancer, his favorite car was the 1967 Chevelle Malibu SS. And of course, I had it one time, had a 1968 396 SS Chevelle, painted Matador red with a black vinyl roof and a black bucket interior, center console shift. And she was a beauty. So I may traipse around on the internet and see if anybody offers a 67 Chevelle that I can put together and create something that he would have liked, just as I did with this 63 Corvette. So that way, when I look on the slot car shelf, I can look upon the car and instantly have a memory of Daryl and yeah, you know, kind of have a tribute car of him. You know, a little off topic, but Daryl was black. Although he was what he informed me of is he was a red bone. And I was not aware all those many years ago that blacks could be really racist, not only towards everybody else, but racist within their own community, within their own race. You know, the dark ones, the darkies, they didn't like the red bones. And I saw it plenty of times up there at work, because where I worked, there was a large population of black people, both as mechanics and drivers and other positions. It was well diverse at work. Matter of fact, the whites were outnumbered. But you know, if you'd been able to see my jaw hit the floor when he turned around and told me that about the darkies not liking the lighties, not the whiteys, although they didn't like me, that they didn't like Daryl. They thought he was a half-breed. Now, if you was to meet his mom and his sister, they were dark. They were a lot darker than he was. So, you know, it's in the genome for that to happen, apparently. You know, it's kind of like me. I have kind of although I'm German, I have a olive, as they say, an olive tint to me. And yeah, that sometimes throws people off. Yeah, runs real good. I'm happy with it. Came out real good. So we're up to 25 minutes, and many of you have probably fallen asleep by now, and that's okay. I don't mind. Don't be afraid. Matter of fact, there's that Grand Sport. Don't be afraid to do a project like this. Just take your time. If you need to, watch you some videos on YouTube of other guys mounting the bodies to the slot car chassis. And there's all kinds of different ways you can go about doing it. Some are more scientific about the process than others. You do what works for you. Now, if it were me, I would just spot glue that little piece to the inside of your body rather than just running a bead all the way across there in case you need to make changes. But as you can see, the car came out even on its wheels, and how it fits in the wheel wells. So that was a success. Oh, by the way, one thing I need to add, these tailpipes, were actually made from tubes of stainless steel. And if I remember right, they were .70. Yeah, 0.70 thousandths, and are in diameter. That I had used on the Swinger JDS chassis build, dragster chassis build. So there's all sorts of things if you have the imagination for it, or you saw something in a video on YouTube that gives you a brighter idea about something. Don't be afraid to try it. It might just work out just fine. So that's it for Kyle Speed 1 for today. I'm going to sit down and drink the rest of my coffee and go through some memories of Daryl. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.